Hi y'all! Welcome back to another video on my channel. It is currently Wednesday, May 28th. It has been a hot minute since I've been in college. It's been like less than a month, let's be real. We're still in May and I was officially done on the 13th of May, so it's been a little while, but I thought I had to come on here and film the last video for my Experiment in Ethics series. So if you didn't see the last one, I had to organize an activity. So I ended up doing a little art in the park. If you guys want to check that out, there's a couple videos of my channel about that. But this last one was to write a letter to future students, and I ended up winging it the day it was due, like hours before it was due, I'm pretty sure. And I believe I probably had a headache or something as well the same day, or I just pushed it too close. So I'm surprised that I did get 100% on it. So I ended the class with like a really, really high A. Like I had like a 99% most of the class, and I think it went down to like a 98.85 or something after the final. So I can't complain too much. But without further ado, let's get into my paper that I wrote for future students, which there's always word counts, and I went over the word count, and yeah, it definitely wasn't my greatest one. But we basically just had to explain some of the experiments we did, like the little projects, which I have all up on YouTube for you guys to basically get the gist of what I did. So I'm just gonna get into that, read it so I can get this video out to you guys and get this series finished up with, and then I have 2 other videos I need to film. So let's get into it. And I also graduate on Sunday of this week, on June 1st. So that is exciting. So this is my little paper that I wrote to the future students, which isn't my favorite because it's like I always overthink things and I always write more. I was just trying to go fast and try to help it seem somewhat professional because she had like prompts for us that we had to fill in. So I didn't really get to say all the things I wanted to say. It was mainly about what I did. So let's finally get into my paper. It says, what does it mean to make a difference in another person's life? You would think there is one grand answer to this question, an answer that consists of shareable terms. But our diverse viewpoints always have a way of creeping in and making life unique. Where some argue for the big things and others argue for the small things. Today, I'm here to advocate for the small things that often get overlooked. To dig deeper, on the first day of the semester, I was handed a packet listed with things referred to as experiments in ethics. After skimming over the 7 experiments, a sudden urge came over me to drop this course. It's true, y'all. It's true. I was crying on the first day because I was overwhelmed, and I ended up dropping a whole bunch of other classes that I didn't even go to. It was like the first day, so you're able to drop without getting charged and everything. But I got overwhelmed because I was going to take 18 credits in a semester, and then I had like an online math class through the high school still. So yeah, a bit crazy, but now I just need 2 more classes and then I get an associate's degree. So yeah, but let's continue. So I left off in the part where I was thinking about dropping. A sudden urge came over me to drop this course because I feared being challenged. Yeah, that's a bad thing with me. It's like, if something's challenging, I feel like we should go for it. But with me, it's like I took 2 years of Spanish and I did really well. I think I got 100% when I took Spanish 1, and then Spanish 2, I got in the high 90s. Well, I always got A's in it. And I did really, really well. But then it's like, okay, I thought Spanish 3 would be too much of a challenge, too hard, so I didn't take it. So sometimes I feel like I set myself back, which is not good. But yeah, so I feared being challenged. What I had to quickly realize, though, is that a challenge here and there does no harm and instead causes prosperity. Thus, my challenging journey began. It was challenging, all right. I went to Goodwill and feed my starving children for my volunteer hours. There's a video. Brushed my teeth twice a day to change a bad habit. And flossed. There's a video. Organized an original Patch Pets activity for kids in a park. There's a video. And more, which there's videos. Consuming, I believe, 50 plus hours of my life, and I would not take any of it back. It was probably more than 50. But I did not total up everything, so I don't know. Because the time it takes to edit the videos too, that was a long time. Nevertheless, with each experiment came trials and tribulations, despite the positive impacts made. The activity I organized was not nearly sensational, with an outreach of less than 20 people. But it only takes one person to make a whole crowd smile, and I cannot help but feel accomplished in that sense. There were lots of kids smiling, so that was very fun. They seemed to have a really good time, so check out the video if you guys want. I'd recommend doing the short one that I had to, that I showed my class in my presentation. It's like a minute 30 something, like a minute 38. Unless you want to watch the whole 30-minute one, but that's a lot of just like me prepping for the activity. But if you want to see the actual kids and stuff, which I did get permission for, then you can definitely check that out. To add, if wishing to host an art in the park, bring enough glitter to last a lifetime and go on a day with a minimal wind. Because let me tell you, wind hates paper. Y'all, the wind was crazy, blowing stuff everywhere. So that's why I put that. And then the kids love glitter. So, you know, definitely. I love that. Continuously, I still have lazy nights when I admittedly fail at brushing my teeth and maintaining a good oral habit. It's true. It's very true. I need to stop being lazy. Okay, if I'm going somewhere, of course, I want to brush my teeth because you don't have stink breath. But it's like if it's a weekend and I'm not going anywhere, sometimes I'm lazy, which is bad because if I want to be a dental hygienist, it's not going to have cavities. And that's literally promoting your job. Like, I don't want to be a hypocrite, so I'm sure I'll have really great oral hygiene when I'm in dental school. But as of right now, your girl has to work on some things, so we're calling myself out because, you know, it is what it is. This is important to note because having downfalls is a natural part of being human, especially considering changing a habit is not for the weak. Yeah, you're telling me. It is not for the weak. Then for volunteering, yes, I learned what it means to genuinely care and be virtuous towards others, but I also acknowledge that I could have challenged myself to do more than pack food and give clothes. True. Some people donated blood. Your girl does not donate blood. Sorry. I don't even know what my blood type is, but I don't do needles like that. I've had to get my blood drawn, and it's always this arm with a freckle because it has like better veins. We don't do that. But some people did that. Like, that's great for them. For me, sorry. But like, there's all different ways to volunteer, like soup kitchens and everything. So just going to the Goodwill was like an easy 2 hours gained, but it's like, I don't know. I just love going to Feed My Starving Children too. I love helping pack the bags. I always like to be the weigher, but yeah. You can watch the video. That part's not in it because I didn't have my phone back in the thing, but I do have pictures of me at Feed My Starving Children and all that. So you'll check it out if you want. Check it out if you want. So basically I was just saying that I could have done more. So additionally, when I wrote a letter about my non-existent love life, and investigated ineffective altruist charity, I learned that sometimes overcoming our own desires is the biggest boulder to making a difference. Is she eating? I'm joking. But no, seriously. So I wrote a thing about like my non-existent love life, which is still non-existent, which is my fault pretty much, but we'll see. God will let me know when the right man is there. So wait on his timing. Our desires. So like giving to a charity, if we have our own desires, we're probably going to be less likely to give. And then our own desires for relationships and all those, like our standards and stuff is definitely a boulder as well. So I'm sure I meant something a little different when I was writing it. It's been a while since I wrote this because I'm finally coming around to filming it, but I'm sure it's something like that. You guys can interpret things how you want. Okay, we are not designed by God to be selfish, but to share. Whether that is in our personal lives or by giving money to a charity. Selflessness always overpowers selfishness. Stop, bro. What? Your girl kind of ate this up. We kind of ate this up. So yeah, basically, our own desires is the biggest boulder. So it's like being selfish. That's our own desires. And then, yeah, being selfless always overpowers selfish. So give if you can. I don't know, that's great. We ate that up. A little bit more. Moreover, with each experiment, little things or objectives had to be considered. These objectives included the capability to organize, lead, and socialize with others on communal or widespread issues. Then, implementing research and connecting our accomplishments back to class theories, thus placing emphasis on how a difference was made. The freak. Why am I trying to sound so formal? I like my writing to flow, but in these, I try to make them fancy. So, yeah. When you have like a small word count, your girl has to work with what she got to work with. And yeah, that was kind of fancy. But basically, objectives are just kind of like skills or like things you learned and whatnot. So it's like we had to be able to organize, which was the activity, lead, which was also the activity, and socialize, basically the activity. But basically everything that you do, you can try to be a leader and definitely socialize. Your girl loves to talk, if we can't tell already. So yeah, basically that's that. It was a lot of work. So yeah, Mo can say that I did extra or whatever, which I did because that's just how I am. If I'm gonna do something, we gotta do it right. We gotta do it right. And we gotta do it with a big impact. So anyway, let's continue. Personally, I did great establishing control and making a social impact with others. Yeah, with my organized activity and stuff. Definitely. Okay. I even went the extra mile and recorded a YouTube video for each experiment to share with whomever pleased. True dat, true dat. No, I'm joking. But no, seriously, there's like a YouTube video for all of them. It's a little series. What I did not favor, on the other hand, was the reflections. We were required to have 3 class ideas/theories and pair each with a 3-step process: define, signify, and add relevancy. Yeah, so you define what the class idea was, which I always try to paraphrase and not use quotes. Unless I do like quotation marks to like emphasize something or like, okay, really? Signify is like why it's significant, stuff like that. And then relevancy is when you tie it back to like what you did. Okay, but anyway, that's besides the point. So, many of my peers and I struggle with this because it added an exceeding pressure to do more on top of an already complex experiment. Yeah, that's what she kind of was going back at in the comment. Like, I'm just do more, basically. Last paragraph. Overall, this class showed me that no matter our background, we can form a community. A community that helps others just as much as it helps the individual. I had an absolute blast getting out of my comfort zone, which I did. And I know a difference was made in my own life, so I can only hope the same for a future student. Which is why I say, if you love busy work, you will not only stay busy, but continuing experiments in ethics is the best way to do so. And then my word count. But yeah, basically one of the questions she had in the prompts is like, should she continue the experiments? So, I mean, they're a lot of work, but I had fun because I film YouTube videos for all. So, yeah. I just try to have fun with things, okay? Give me a lemon and your girl might try to make lemonade. Maybe even pink lemonade while we're at it. So, that is that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all!